Maybe you're a maybe you're a seasoned prepper. You've got 3 months, 6 months, a year of food, water, and medical supplies just stacked to the rafters. Or maybe you're new, or you've been thinking about prepping. But suddenly, there is just this sense of optimism, this feeling of hope. And you're having second thoughts. You're thinking, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Or as someone who's been at it for a while, you've reached that sweet spot where you think that you have got enough. Well, I'm here today to tell you something. Hope and optimism do not equal safety and security. This country's still headed for some dark days, y'all. Let's get shady with it. Hello, everyone, across this great land of ours from the beautiful Colorado Rocky Mountains. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. Welcome back to the channel. I am Shady. You are in the zone. Well, folks, 2025 is here. Monday morning, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau announced that he is stepping down as the leader of the Liberal Party and the Prime Minister of Canada. However, he says that he will remain until the party selects his replacement. Kind of reminds you of kind of like what the Democrats here in the United States, how they selected and installed Joe Biden's replacement. What a joke. It is what a total joke. Unless the Conservative Party in Canada can pull their act together in, what is it, October, I believe it is, and elect a conservative prime minister, absolutely nothing will change in that country. And to be totally honest with you, I about halfway expect Macron in France to do the same thing because they're in about the same shape as Canada is. Now, here in the United States, back in November, we elected Donald Trump as president of the United States. And this feeling of hope and optimism, I'm sorry. This feeling of hope and optimism has been sweeping the country, even as opposition. Um, some members of the Democratic Party, a few people in the mainstream media, seem hopeful in some of what Trump's got planned, or at least they're playing go along to get along. I see all these posts and memes on social media saying things like, well, come January the 20th, we take our country back. Something like that, in that vein. Listen, y'all, on January the 20th, when Trump puts his hand on that Bible, there's no magic bullet. There's no giant reset button that's going to get pushed, and we're all going to wake up the next day, and America is going to be the way it used to be. All of our problems are going to be solved. All the division is going to disappear. All of the wars are going to end. All the terrorism will just stop. All of a sudden, our government and the mainstream media will be transparent and honest again. Now, there are a lot of people out there who honestly believe that. They have that attitude. And if you're one of them, you're living in a fantasy world, Scooter. MAGA means make America great again. And that means that we, you and me, we the people, have a lot of work to do. Our government has a lot of work to do. And our government has a lot of house cleaning that needs to get done. We went into the new year with drone sightings over densely populated areas of our country, mostly up in the Northeast. No one knows who is flying them. No one seems to know what their purpose is. And we have government officials actually trying to tell us that they are totally legit because they have running lights as required by the law. They are trying to tell us that they are normal and that they are being flown by enthusiasts. They think that no one realizes just how much an SUV sized drone costs or what it takes to fly one. They're spreading crap on a piece of bread and telling you it's a peanut butter sandwich. On January the 1st, the first day of the year, there were four major incidents that happened in this country. In New Orleans, a rented truck was driven into a crowd of people in or near the French Quarter, killing over a dozen people and injuring over 35. An ISIS flag and improvised explosives were found in the truck and in two coolers that were placed around Bourbon Street, and that was after the driver was killed by the police in a firefight. In Las Vegas, an active duty military member from right here in Colorado Springs blew up an EV full of explosives and fireworks in front of the Trump Hotel. Now, he killed himself just before the truck exploded. A few hours later, still in Vegas, law enforcement responded to a lone individual holding the occupants of a bus hostage. I don't have very many details on that. Just like there was also a mass shooting at a nightclub in New York City. Now, out of these four incidents, the first one in New Orleans was classified as a terrorist attack, even though in the beginning, the Assistant Special Agent Althea Duncan, who was obviously a DEI appointment, stated that it was not an act of terrorism, even though she had been briefed on the occupant of the truck and its contents, including the ISIS flag. Now, if you listen to her statement, her words and her complete ignorance of grammar and inability to read her own scripted statement, it's pretty obvious that she either didn't have an ounce of a clue about what she was saying or that she was intentionally lying. Because a short time later, a very, very short time later, FBI officials did a complete 180-degree turn and said that it was indeed an act of terrorism. All of that on the very first day of the new year. And right now, as I record this, there is another huge caravan of illegals headed toward the U.S. from southern Mexico. Now, most of this group is, yeah, you guessed it, Venezuelans. And they're hoping that they get here before January the 20th. In the meantime, good old Mayorkas is trying to tell us that the numbers of illegals that have entered our country have been overblown. Sounds just like another peanut butter sandwich to me. How about you? And just in case you haven't heard, they are plotting and planning another pandemic. Whether it's a new strain of COVID or a super bird flu, they are beginning to seed mainstream and social media with it. They're just biding their time. And hey, y'all, let's not forget China is still saying that they are going to take Taiwan. Russia and Ukraine are still waging a bloody war that we, the United States, are helping finance. And everybody and their brother are attacking Israel. While right here in America, we have protesters in our streets shouting, "Death to Israel, death to America." Which brings us to our social issues that we have right here at home. We have far left liberal or communist governors and mayors saying that they will fight any and all of Trump's deportation efforts to preserve their precious sanctuary cities. It doesn't matter how many gangs of illegals take over apartment complexes, torturing and extorting the people living there. It doesn't matter how many women are set on fire in the subway. It doesn't matter how many of our women and children are raped and murdered or put into modern slavery. It doesn't matter how many people die of fentanyl overdoses after it's been smuggled into our country by these migrants. It doesn't matter how many homeless veterans die from exposure and violence on our streets after being kicked out of shelters to make room for their so called immigrants. Now, these people, these false leaders, they only care about pandering to their ridiculously small but loud base of idiots who have believed lies and falsehoods spread by what I truly believe to be communists within our government, within our nation, with the intent of destroying us from within. These people are not going to magically disappear on January the 20th. They have been working on this plan for a very long time, and they will not go quietly if they go at all. And you see, what I've talked about today is just the tip of the iceberg. We could spend hours on this. Now, can Trump fix this? Certainly not all of it, and certainly not on the first day. Now, I believe he's going to try. I believe he's going to fight. And I believe that, unlike the first time, he knows the game a little better. And he's surrounding himself with people that hopefully he can trust. But this doesn't end on the day he is sworn in. After that, he has probably 2 years to fix as much as he can. After that, Congress will probably change hands and we will probably have the same situation we saw in his first term. I don't believe Donald Trump is our savior. I'm sorry, y'all, but I just don't. I'm not saying he wasn't the right choice. I'm not saying that he won't get a lot of things accomplished. But he can't do it alone. And he can't do it in just 4 years. He certainly can't do it on the first day. We have to look past Trump and on to the next administration. Hopefully, J.D. Vance or somebody like him will pick up the mantle and carry on the fight. Until then, we cannot afford to be complacent. We can't allow ourselves to live under this false sense of security. If the border closed today, right now, we still have possibly thousands of terrorists in this country and sleeper cells just waiting to be activated. We have to stay vigilant. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying that we run a huge chance of more terrorist attacks, both before and after January the 20th. Not to mention that with our economy the way it is, our own homegrown criminals are getting bolder and more violent every day. We've gotten to the point that shoplifters are now pulling weapons on store employees if the employees confront them. That scenario happened right here just a few days ago. Some time ago, a shoplifter actually pulled a firearm on store associates when confronted. What's causing these kind of things? Lax laws and policies that have emboldened criminals to the point that they believe that they can do what they want, take what they want, and do it when they want. And this sort of crap will not change until we take the power back from the criminals. So keep prepping. Don't stop. Stay awake. Stay alert. This is not the time to relax, no matter how hopeful things may seem. Now, y'all can do me a huge New Year favor and go up there and please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell button so you get notified when we put out new videos. And hey, you know what? Y'all take care of yourselves. God bless. And until the next time, y'all stay shady.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! And these shields, boys!